you get with a teapot, you put the hot water in, then the tea.
You obviously put the tea bags in first. You fucking pillock, guys. Because I make like a pot of tea every single day when I'm on online school. I go downstairs, two tea bags in, so then it saves me tea because then it steeps for longer. Because the later cups will steep for longer.
What steeps? What is steeping?
Like when you leave, it's actually quite British when you leave like tea. If you leave tea to steep, you're like leaving the tea bag to like diffuse into the rest of the water. So like my mum always like used to like chastise me for like not letting her tea steep enough. I would like squidge it with a spoon on the side.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And it doesn't actually work. I don't think it really actually like gets it properly. But then I just take the teapot upstairs to my room and have a mug, and then it's quite nice because like at first it's like really hot and you have to leave it for a bit, and then the only bad thing is that like your fourth mug is like slightly cold. But I think that's just a sacrifice you make for not making the second trip downstairs.
Yeah.
Do you bring up milk with you, or do you not use milk?
I don't use milk because it's green tea.
Yeah, you don't have milk and green tea.
Oh, you don't put sugar in it either.
Also, it's quite no.
You can
no,
put honey in it. Can't you?
So how much milk?
No
No
milk.
milk.
No milk.
It's green
No
tea.
milk,
I
no
have
sugar.
green tea.
Oh, okay.
Is that not very helpful? Is that not British enough? Like,
It's not British.
I would say the most British like cup of tea is just like Builder's tea.
Yeah, that's what.
No, I'm
Is that
Pretty
Earl
milky,
Grey
pretty
or
sugary.
No, Builder's tea is just like more. What's it called? It's called like breakfast tea or something.
English breakfast?
Yeah.
I just have tea too much, so I just like don't take out the tea bag anymore. It's just too long.
What do you mean?
I'm just too lazy.
You just
I
leave
just
it in.
bang in the tea bag, put some hot water, put the milk in, it goes like a disgusting colour, and then like you just press the tea bag and then you just drink it.
If I'm having a tea, I put 2 tea bags in.
No.
In 1 month.
2 tea bags.
Because I like a lot of milk.
Yeah.
I like the taste of having a lot of milk, but I also don't like it diluting the
It's such a
taste.
nightmare to make tea for.
Oh my god, no, because my parents used to be really like anti-sugar when we were younger, so I could never have like sugar in my tea. And then I went to my friend Maya's house, and like I stayed over, and I woke up the next day, and her mum came and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make some tea. Do you guys want some tea?" She was like, "How many sugars?" She was like, "Do you like sugar in the tea?" I was like, "Yeah, I like sugar in my tea." Because I was like, "Yeah, I like sugar in my tea." Fuck you, mum. And then she was like, "How many sugars do you want in your tea?" And I had no conception of what the standard amount was. And I also had this like agenda to get as much sugar as possible outside of my house. So I told her 4. But I'm now known as the girl who like asks for like 4 sugars in her tea.
My
So you gotta live up to that expectation now.
4
Exactly.
sugars.
Take notes, guys. But I should use my teapot like that, because when I went down to my grandma's, she would make a teapot because she wanted to have enough tea for everyone. Whereas I just have a teapot because I'm a lazy fucker who doesn't want to bring it up to my room.
Yeah, that's the worst part of making tea by the mug. Like you have to go downstairs if you want another one, and it's like you got to get all the.
more than 1 mug of tea. You just have a bigger mug.
Oh yeah. There's 1 mug in my house, which is like the biggest one. I measured it. I poured all the water out of, and tried to calculate which one was the biggest one. Just because like my mum drinks out of a tiny mug. It's like that's like 1 sip. It's just tragic.
Yeah, my mum was like that as well. She only gets really small ones. We did like a full-on like family, like please can you get us bigger mugs.
Yeah.
How many mugs of tea can you get in one kettle?
Kettle.
In one kettle or one teapot?
One
A
teapot.
teapot.
Oh my god. I often forget about it, so I don't have the last one. I say 4. 4, like 4.
So
big
do you have
mugs.
4 mugs of tea a day, or like?
Oh, at least. I sometimes
Really?
go downstairs and make another pot.
Wow, it's impressive.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, I don't know if that's
Do you,
the best thing to do.
do you drink them like all in the morning, or like do you have like?
In green tea.
Because in my house we have like a cup of tea like at night.
Then you can't sleep.
I have a
No,
cup
it
of tea at night.
Yeah, just
That's
like
why I
1
get
cup of
sleep.
tea at night.
But it's caffeinated, then you can't
I
sleep.
find tea actually helps me get to sleep, even though it's
Yeah.
caffeinated. Definitely.
It's
Not
quite
like
relaxing.
yeah, like it maybe like 10 o'clock. Have a
What's
little
your
cup of tea.
experience with tea? How do you have
I
tea at the moment?
don't drink a lot of tea. Only when I'm at like a friend's house or something. And like Dean was saying, like it's more of a kind of social thing for me. Like almost peer pressure into it. But like I would say I have like a bit of milk, 1 sugar. Actually no, I don't have sugar. That's a
Oh,
lie.
he's gone back on it.
No.
Nah, I don't have sugar
Too
in
much
it.
effort to put in. Like,
Because
we go from the
oh,
minimal, like,
let's talk about dunking biscuits
oh,
in
I'm
tea.
actually a bit of a professional at dunking biscuits. Rich teas are the best to dunk. I'm like, oh, stand
Oh
by
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah. Or a custard cream. Dunking a custard cream is good because it's like
no,
the
it
custard
was
cream.
the custardy creamy thing in the middle. That ruins it.
No,
Like,
no.
separate.
I'm trying.
the biscuit.
Do you leave it just before it like drops off?
Yeah, yeah. No, but the custard cream, because there's the custard in the middle, it provides like structural integrity to keep
Ah,
the
okay.
biscuit
So we got a bit of
in
structural.
one piece. So you dip it in, and then if you want to like dip it in and still be a little bit crunchy, you dip it once. But if you want it to be like soggy,
I just wouldn't dunk a biscuit if it wasn't chocolate coated.
No.
Really?
Ooh.
Doesn't the chocolate like melt a bit in the tea?
Yeah.
Is that
I
the
think
nice bit?
it's nice. I sometimes have my tea with honey and chocolate. I like cocoa powder. It's not really tea anymore.
Very into wants hot chocolate there.
It's like sugar starved, like Izzy, like it's as sweet as possible. I've got my last.
Yeah, I feel like coffee's a completely different culture to tea.
Coffee is an arm of capitalism.
Coffee is like, I don't know. You see like those massive machines that look like they'll produce some kind of nuclear thing, and it's
More
like
of a
they
drug,
just.
yeah.
And there's like a million ways to make coffee. I swear. There's like cold drip, cold brew. It's like this.
Yeah, you can like.
It's like a
Well,
science.
it's similar to tea though, but like coffee's for a different function in a way.
I feel like the culture behind coffee is really way more annoying.
It's so much more commercial, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
like it's like
You have like coffee heads and like people are obsessed with like what grains of coffee or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't get that for tea.
milk.
You don't really get that with tea. It's more like
That
a
pisses me off.
welcome.
Jumpy coffee.
You don't get.
No good.
If you were to say one word you would say associate coffee with, what would it be?
beans.
I was going to say that.
Milk.
Machine.
And what about tea?
Warm. Grandma. Genuinely.
Grandma.
What do me, grandma? I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, what was it you said that coffee is like? No one buys a takeaway tea. You buy a takeaway coffee though.
Yeah, coffee's like an on-go. Like
But also,
you're
like,
on the way to somewhere if you get coffee.
I feel like with coffee,
What's
like
the thing
you're
you
like
get when you're out?
not taking a
it's
break.
liminal.
Yeah, coffee
Whereas
isn't a break.
Tea's like the opposite, where you
Yeah.
actually want to take a break and you have a cup
Exactly.
of tea.
It's like coffee you're like pushing through.
But also, like, there's a part of me that like will pay for a coffee because I feel like there's more that's gone into it. But I don't want to pay for a cup of tea because it's because I have to wait for the tea to steep because they just give you hot water in a tea bag. I feel like I'm doing the work,
Yeah.
and I feel like I shouldn't have to pay for that.
I think there's.
And also, it's water in the tea.
I think
It
if
is
you
also
pay
Yeah.
But
more than
because you
it
put the
should
work
not be
in, do you
more than
value
that.
that cup
I
of tea
think
more?
I think the difference between a homemade cup of
Yeah.
coffee and
Yeah.
a machine made like cup of coffee is so large, whereas tea you can't really improve it from what I make at home.
Tea's democratized.
Yeah, tea is like
It's the
standard.
communist.
Yeah.
There's no you can't get better than the stuff that well you can a little
It's a
bit.
socialist alliance.
But it's like barely better. So it's like no one's going to pay for that.
And like the experience of making coffee versus the experience of making a cup of tea, do you think it's different?
Yeah. If you have like a proper machine or you're in a shop making it for someone,
But do you usually have coffee made for you and tea is something you make yourself, do you think?
I think it would be if
I
you were
don't
at
know
home.
either, to be honest.
I think if you were at home and making yourself a cup of coffee, it would be less rude to not offer to make other people coffee as it would be to not offer to make your family a cup of tea. I feel like that would be so much more rude. Coffee feels more like individualised.
More
quite
selfish.
Yeah.
More selfish. Coffee's more of like an ordeal as well, unless you're making like that sort of shit instant coffee where it's like those granules. But I mean, if you're like going to a machine and they always make those like horrible noises, it's like it's like it's a whole ordeal.
But then you got the kettle noises like Tabby was saying.
But that's nice.
Yeah, but then you get that noise where you like pour it in and it goes like.
Oh, that's
Because I worked in a I worked in a cafe, and people who ordered coffee were always usually going. But then it wasn't that every single person who stayed ordered tea. It was that majority of people who ordered tea had it in, and then they would get a little pot.
but also takeaway tea in one of those like paper cups tastes shit.
Yeah,
Lemon
yeah.
tea anyway.
Yeah.
But in a paper cup, not like China or anything.
If you had the exact same cup of tea in a paper cup versus a mug,
Yeah, a mug wins.
Yeah, 100%.
but like if you did a blind test, do you think
I don't think
the mug
anyone
would win?
would be able to tell the difference.
No, but in the when you're holding it, the mug is like warm, whereas the paper cup is like hot and
Yeah, that's true.
crappy.
Also, you don't have a handle, which is nice.
Do that test blind, but then use it as a control.
Yeah.
You could also do a test on like how people hold the mug, because there's always that one person who holds it like this. I don't know. I always hold it like around
Oh,
my
do you have the
through.
finger up?
I always
No.
hold it like the
Can't do
mug
that.
and then the handle going around my fingers, like
Yeah.
so my fingers through the handle. No,
I hold my
I hold it like this. Yeah,
That's
mate.
a whole new thing, like how you hold.
How do
Because
you
some
hold the
people
tea?
put their like hands around it, like to warm their hands.
Depends how cold.
And where you were looking at,
But
they
like
don't have
depending
handles.
on the mug, if it's like a dainty little mug that you have in a tea set from your grandma's, you'll hold it with like 2 fingers maybe.
Yeah.
Like
And they don't have handles on the one you were looking at, do they? They don't have handles.
these.
No, the in the country you were looking at.
No, yeah, it's just like a.
It's glass
It's a
as well.
cup. It's a glass cup. That's what my dad actually. He drinks coffee in a glass
Oh, yeah, that's
every
so
morning
good.
because he
Full
says
bottle.
it's like Turkish or something weird.
Yeah, yeah. My mum has these little holders for glasses, so you like have the glass, but then you have like a metal thing
yeah,
that
yeah,
like
yeah.
can then hold it.
I worked at a cafe in Spain, and they did cafes in England do that as well. It's like lattes are meant to be in a glass. It's really
Yeah, it's
bizarre.
really weird.
I think I was making lattes in. Yeah. I worked at a cafe in Ballon. It's the same one, and
Did you just get Ballum in Spain mixed up?
I worked at a cafe in Spain on an exchange.
Oh, okay.
It was like basically slave labour in retrospect.